abalone shad color. So you want to get yourself up on the rock. There he is. That's a good one too. Oh, you're gonna see it just gonna have a lot of rocks like this, and those fish are just gonna be sitting there waiting. Oh, that's a good Sacramento River fish right there. You know, choked down. I know it. Like I say, it's definitely having something of the shad pattern, and catching fish like this in this, you know, 2.5 to 3 pound class is definitely going to be the fish you guys are going to need to catch to keep you going, keep you in the hunt. See if we can catch another one. There he is. A little one. Let you know there's fish in the area, so you keep fishing. I'm bit. Come on, eat it. Eat it. There he is. That's a good one. Oh, like I said, oh! You find the right stuff. When you find a piece of isolated structure, you catch bass just like that. Folks, I'm telling you, you get here out on the Delta, get your Missile Baits D-bomb, get your Paycheck Baits punch hook, punch skirt, River to Sea trash bomb, 1.5 ounce, and you catch 3.5 pounders like that one. Guys, you know, catch a few fish on the spinnerbait, catch a few on the crankbait. You know, today, that's what it's gonna be like. You know, fishing that upper part of the Delta, sticking with the rock and the current, find you a piece of structure like a piece of wood or some grass. And if you find some grass, you definitely wanna flip it. So give the Blink spinnerbait a try in the color I Know It. Same thing in cold-blooded in the Biggie Papa crankbait, and flip your D-bomb on the River to Sea trash bomb. Good luck at the Classic.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more preparing for the Future Pro Tour Classic in just a moment.
Building the ultimate total performance machines. It's a powerful commitment to excellence wrapped in layers of advanced engineering. Experience a take charge level of leadership with the legendary Ranger Z Comanche and Z100 series. Powered by Evinrude E-Tech's best-in-class high-torque performance, it's clear that real confidence isn't just what you know, it's who you run with. Evinrude E-Tech. Spend more time on the water.
Would you like to be part of the most exciting amateur bass fishing circuit in the West? Then call us at 916-768-0938 or visit us at our website at www.futureprotour.net.
Win a guaranteed Dodge Charger or Dodge Ram during the $500,000 high voltage giveaway, only at Thunder Valley Casino Resort.
Welcome back. The Future Pro Tour is very proud of the anglers that have fished in its ranks and have now moved on to successful venues throughout the country. The Future Pro Tour has always been about learning, taking the beginning to the intermediate level angler and giving them a place to build their bass fishing skills. We want to congratulate and thank all of those guys that are now successful in some of the bigger venues throughout the country. Day one of the Future Pro Classic is being held out of Sacramento. Day two, we're heading down I-5 to Stockton, California. So we caught up with Ranger Pro Ken Maw.
Hey everybody, Ken Maw on the Delta, and first thing I want to talk about is taking the guesswork out of color. Shad patterns are going to work really well, but predominantly on the Delta, crawdad patterns. You know, when I'm pitching, punching, or flipping, I like to use a little bit of red. I also like a little dark contrast. It's 1.5 ounces. I use a colored black weight. And when I'm cranking, always, you know, dark red on top, fading to a little bottom, to a little lighter bottom. And you know, I was walking around today and I found a crawdad. And if you guys at home look at that, you know, the top of it is just dark as can be. And you know, you flip them upside down and they kind of get light on the bottom. So, you know, that's absolutely what the fish are chasing. Man. Keeper. They feel big out there. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one at all. That's a nice one. 2.5 pounder. You know, like I was talking about earlier, you know, the bank changes a little bit right here. It kind of gets a little bit deeper. You always gotta have your eyes on your good electronics. This is the third fish I've caught on this bait, and they've all been on the outside part of the mouth. So that tells you something too. It tells you something. It's close, but probably the color's not quite right. Because when the color's right, that's how it looks. The bait's gone. But that's a nice fish. Good fall chunk. You know, I do a lot of cranking on the Delta, and when I'm cranking riprap bank like this and I'm making the same cast, I like to use a really long rod. This is a 711 Shimano Kumara. 14-pound Sunline and a 7-to-1 high-speed Chronarch reel. And the reason I like the rod is because it helps me fight fish when they're really far away from me, and then it also helps me guide my bait around when I'm casting or when I'm paralleling riprap. See, when I'm punching, I'm always looking for that, where that break or that depth change is. And you know, on purpose, I actually use and order yellow braided line. You know, I don't know if the camera can see that, but it's really bright, and I paint or color 6 feet of it on all my rods with the jumbo Marks-A-Lot pen. And I do that for a couple of reasons. One, it camouflages the line, and two, I know exactly what depth my bait is at when I get bit. In other words, if I make this pitch right here and it's falling right there and I get bit, then I know that the fish are probably suspended in that upper water column. Came into this area to punch the hydrilla and the matted grass, and I get a lot of questions about punching and, you know, baits, what colors and all that other stuff, and you know, that stuff's important. But if I had anything to stress to somebody, is learn the mechanics. You know, always face your target, you know, and keep your rod somewhere between 9 and about 12 o'clock. You always want to be ready for that bite. I'm always in the right position to swing on a fish that bites. Like right now, one bites like that. Oh, that's a good one. Not that good of a one, but that was on cue though, huh? Look how dark he is. A little chunky, 2-pounder. Right between the eyes. How's that, 2-pounder?
Awesome, bro.
You know, every fish you catch gives you information. And that fish, for instance, was really a dark colored. And what that tells me is that that fish has been living in the vegetation for a while. So when you're fishing, if you get a lot of, you know, if the water is clear like this with a vegetation and the fish are kind of pale, that means there's fresh fish moving in. You know, so there's little key things like that that give you a cue of, you know, what kind of spot did you find? You know, what kind of area did you find? Is it replenishing? Are there fish moving up? Or are they resident fish? And, you know, you might catch 4 or 5 of them and they might not last 2 or 3 days. I've won a lot of money doing 2 things, late October, November on the Delta. And those 2 things, first thing, throwing a crankbait. This is a lipless crankbait. I also like throwing a lipped crankbait. A lot of red, and they start chasing shad. You know, I caught that big one today, right on a traditional fall pattern on a shad-colored river to sea twin vibe. And, you know, a lot of money also I've made in October and November throwing a punch rig. You know, you're only gonna get maybe 2 to 4 bites, but they're gonna be the ones you need. So if you wanna win, I've won a lot of money in November, find that crank and bite, throw the punch rig. It's gonna happen.
Well, there it is. This is going to be a classic for the ages. 2 distinct bodies of water that will challenge our anglers like never before. One thing we know, when the dust all settles, we will crown one team the best amateur team in the Western United States. We'll see you all on the next Future Pro Tour show.
This show has been brought to you by Ranger Boats, Evinrude Motors, Navionics, Minn Kota, Humminbird Electronics, Gamakatsu, River to Sea, Berkeley, Cocoons Eyewear, and Gary Yamamoto Custom Baits. This has been a production by Thunder Valley Outdoors.